You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Monday. Happy Moon Day. We made it to the start of a new week, and we have some pretty supportive transits to talk about today. So lots of support from the stars behind us. If you are a Gemini, welcome to your season, our first, or I guess not our first broadcast during Gemini season, but our first Monday morning broadcast during Gemini season. And you are in good company if today's your birthday. Drew Carey, Jewel, Melissa McBride, also sharing birthdays today. Anyone else popping out? Rosemary Clooney as well. If you love the movie White Christmas, you've seen Rosemary Clooney. Let me know if it's your birthday, if someone you know is celebrating a birthday today. We would love to shout them out on our show. So today we have a supportive sextile between the sun, the Gemini sun, and Jupiter in Aries. And we also have another supportive angle to talk about between Mercury and Mars. The moon is now in Pisces, so we're all feeling a little bit sensitive, definitely letting those emotions flow through. And we're in the waning moon of the phase, so this is a time of release. So let's walk through all of this, starting with our main transit of the day. And then at the very end of this, I'll show you a peek at the week ahead, what energy is coming our way. We have a lot of planetary shifts happening in the next few days. All right, so here's a look at the current chart. You can see we have a ton of action in Aries and Taurus. That's where a majority of the energy we're feeling right now is hanging out in the night sky. And you can see the sun at 2 degrees in Gemini is forming that nice supportive angle to Jupiter at 2 degrees in Aries. Jupiter in Aries is something we talked about, I think, almost 2 weeks ago now. It's a transit that will be with us through the beginning of next year. It goes retrograde a little bit, but it's a really favorable time to start new things. So we're really going to be feeling that energy of potential, of rumblings, of starting something new. Maybe not ready to do it right now, but there's a general air of excitement when the sun and Jupiter form this sextile. This was exact at 4 a.m. today, but we're going to be feeling its energy all day. So when the Gemini sun sort of fans the flames, the sun being in an air sign of Jupiter and Aries, it's amplifying good vibes in general. This is also bringing a potential for luck today, Jupiter ruling our luck and abundance. I've got a hair stuck in my mouth. And we'll feel especially outgoing. We'll enjoy being part of something bigger than ourselves. The Gemini sun makes us more social. We want to be stimulated. And Jupiter expands and magnifies everything it touches. So we're going to enjoy being in social situations or talking to other people, sharing ideas with other people. This also expands on generosity, with Jupiter being in Aries, Jupiter being the planet of abundance, the great benefic. When the sun is connecting in this way, it's almost like they're amplifying each other. The sun is shining light on Jupiter, Jupiter is amplifying those rays. So we're more likely to be generous. We're more likely to be confident as we're more aware of our own abundance. This transit also can shine light on like the big picture. for the next chapter of our life. Like I said, Jupiter in Aries is this great potential energy that we're working with. And when the sun connects in it this way, it's expanding upon our consciousness. It's giving us new ideas with the sun in Gemini. It's a great day for goal setting, for thinking big, for envisioning all of the possibilities that you could potentially start. I will say, maybe wait to actually start anything until the new moon. That would be a favorable time next Monday. So this is really a time to envision, to dream, to let things kind of manifest naturally, bring them into your awareness, get excited about things. But I will say this sextile could make things burn extra hot, or it's like that magnifying and sun analogy we just talked about. When you angle a magnifying glass in the sun, it can burn things. I will say, don't be overly optimistic or enthusiastic and burn yourself out today, because that is a possibility. Now, we also have a sextile between Mercury Retrograde, which is now in Taurus at 29 degrees, and Mars. And remember what I just said about being a little too impulsive or burning yourself out? This transit is going to compound on that energy. So we have both Mercury retrograde and Mars at what's called the anaretic degree, the 29th degree. You can see them both at 29 degrees in their respective signs. And the 29th degree makes us feel a little restless or even confused, like we're ready to jump into the next energy. It's this critical degree where fated things can happen, but also it can make us feel like we have to do something, we have to take action. And also with Mercury being retrograde now in Taurus, there's still an air of confusion. There's still an air of really reflecting on things. And is this what I really want? And just communication breakdowns can be a thing as well, of course, with Mercury retrograde. So try not to be too jumpy or too antsy today. Our actions will intuitively follow our thoughts. With Mars being in Pisces, we are very quick to act on things with Mars at 29 degrees. So, if your thoughts are really positive, your actions will likely flow in that direction, and that could be really great. This is a sextile. We're leaning into it. But if your thoughts tend to be more overthinking, your actions will likely follow in that direction as well. This can create some confusion between gut instinct and rational mind, too. So, with both Mercury and Mars at this critical degree, this restless feeling makes us want to take action, want to make decisions, but we're likely prone to overanalyzing the outcome of those things or the weight of those things, especially with Mercury retrograde. There's definitely an element of overanalyzing. So again, this bears repeating the message. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You don't have to take action today necessarily. This is a really great day for just envisioning the possibilities, letting yourself dream, letting yourself think big without having the weight of, is it going to work out? Or is this really possible? Like, let your mind flow, let your imagination take off today, and give yourself permission to just brainstorm and dream. It doesn't have to be something that you think and then immediately put into action. In fact, if it's something you're thinking and you feel like you need to immediately take action, I would say hold off, wait, slow down. There's really no need on this Monday to jump into something new. It's not favored at all. If you do, like I said, there's an element of luck with the sun and Jupiter supporting each other. So you might find yourself in a lucky situation today, but if it feels like there's a lot of gravity and weight to whatever it is you're thinking about, hold off. Definitely hold off. Okay, the moon is in Pisces, and you can see here it's at 14 degrees, so about halfway through its transit in Pisces, and it's about to make a connection to Uranus in Taurus. So that's our first aspect with the moon today. And just a little reminder here, when the moon is in Pisces, it's asking for closure, rest, and release. It's why we tend to be a little more sensitive and emotional, because we are more open to feeling all the things, and with the Pisces moon being in this last quarter phase, this waning phase, emotional release is actually really favored today. So allow those emotions to sort of wash through you while the moon is in this water sign. And as they are released, they can finally be put to rest. This is a really beautiful time for closure, especially coming off of the eclipse a couple weeks ago, just eclipse season in general. There could be some lingering things that came up that need to be released. So this can feel like a little bit of a purge. And if you're feeling especially sensitive throughout it to other people's actions, to your own emotions, you're right on track. It's not the most comfortable transit, but give yourself the time and space to just feel it all and let it release today. So now at noon, the moon is forming a sextile to Uranus. Literally all day today we have sextiles. That's the only angle we're talking about, which is why I said at the very beginning of this, we have a lot of support for us today. You can even see on the chart all of these blue lines, these dark blue lines. Those are the sextiles we're talking about. So lots of support for us, even if we're walking through any sort of difficult emotions. When the moon forms a sextile to Uranus this afternoon, and we're starting to feel it a little bit today, we can be more open to new perspectives. We're more open to change. And remember, a sextile asks us to put in a little bit of effort. So to gain the potential from this transit, the moon supporting Uranus and vice versa, we have to be open to new opportunities, new ideas, new perspectives. We have to be open to change. The benefits of this transit really come from staying flexible, from, Mercury still retrograde. If there's a change of plans, flowing with them. The moon in Pisces asks us to flow and just kind of surrender and let things unfold the way they naturally feel best. And so just staying open, getting excited about the possibilities, envisioning the future is very much supported still by this sextile between the moon and Uranus. Like, there's really future-focused energy today. So getting excited about what's possible, what's to come, but not feeling that weight of having to do it today. That is what's going to be most beneficial working with this energy. And then the final transit we're talking about today is a sextile between the moon and the north node. So that will happen at about 11 p.m. tonight. So it's like earlier in the day, we're feeling open, we're thinking about the future. Later in the day, some of those pieces might start to feel like they're falling into place as the moon and the north node connect in this way. So here we go. When the moon is even a little closer, 22, 21 degrees, it will form a sextile to the north node and a trine to the south node. So it's connecting in this favorable way to both the north and south nodes. And again, coming off of eclipse season when the nodes are really activated by the new moon and the full moon, this can help us just start to understand the path ahead. Start to, like I said, let those things fall into place. Gain a greater understanding of the direction we're supposed to be heading for our highest good, of the lessons we're supposed to be learning. The north and south nodes aren't planets, but I like to include them in the forecast because they're nice little reminders here and there. Okay, are we making a change and shifting in the direction that we're supposed to be going, or is it a little bit more aligned and a little bit more easy with the emotions that are coming up? So the more we're thinking about lessons in the future, the easier it is going to be to see where we're supposed to be heading, the path we're meant to walk. It's almost like this yellow brick road in front of us is being lit up every time the moon connects to the north node in this favorable way. So just staying open, thinking about the future, letting yourself dream, letting yourself envision. All the things that I've been saying are supported by almost every transit we're talking about. We just have to be willing to let ourselves go there, to let ourselves dream a little bit bigger, to release the grip on how we think things should go, and just to let them flow. And sometimes, I will say, the biggest thing we can do to align with the future, to align with the direction we're supposed to go, is to release the past, to release our grip. So as the moon is in this releasing phase, it's really a reminder to just go with the flow, let it wash away so you can make space for these big dreams and visions that are coming through to you today. Rose, great tip to take it easy and slow my roll. Yes, definitely feeling restless and feeling like I need to take action but confused on what to do. That's like the energy of today in one sentence, Rose. You are right on track, really. And remember, there's a reason we start with the planetary day of the week. It's Moon Day. It's actually not a favorable energy to take action on a Monday, which is funny that we are, starting a work week, most of us, on Mondays, because the moon is more of that like dark, home focused energy. And so I tend to feel on Monday like I want to get my home in order. Tuesday is Mars Day. That's when we start to take action. So, today is really a great day for introspection, dreaming. You can still bounce ideas off of other people, think about all the possibilities, get other people's input, be open to new ideas, new opportunities, but you don't have to have it all figured out right now, which can be really reassuring. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do an overview of today's energy, and then we will pull a card. So in general, we have good vibes on this Monday as the Gemini Sun and Jupiter connect in this supportive angle, helping us to bring in new ideas, see the possibilities, be comfortable around other people and confident in social environments. And there's an abundance of ideas to be exchanged under this energy. Meanwhile, Mercury retrograde connects with Mars in that same supportive angle, but at the 29th degree, bringing an energy of restlessness, like we want to take action, but we don't know exactly what to do. There's still a lot of confusion and review that needs to happen. So you don't have to have it all figured out today. Use that restless energy that's churning to think about the future, think about what is possible for you, but don't necessarily take action on it right now. The moon is in its waning phase, its releasing phase in Pisces. And so there might be some emotions coming up for you. Let them wash through you to be released. This moon phase favors closure and healing and rest. So if you're feeling tired or like you need to give your body rest, today is the day to do that. The moon makes supportive angles to Uranus and the North Node throughout the day, again supporting this energy of envisioning the future, looking ahead, being open to new opportunities. But the releasing moon reminds us sometimes we have to let the old go, let things leave us in order to create space for the new. All right? Okay. Let's go ahead and pull a card. I'm going to pull from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck today. This one just jumped right out at me, and I was like, we need an animal message today. As always, this is your time to ask your astrology questions, to ask for guidance from the universe. If you have any specific questions, this card pull is just as much for you as it is for every other person watching this video. And let me know as well, how's your Gemini season starting? How's your day starting? What do you have on tap this week? And then we will also go through the transits coming up throughout the week in just a minute or two. All right. What do we need to know for the week ahead? Ooh, Badger Spirit. Be fearless and bold. Card number 4. Love that. Badger Spirit. Okay. Here's the message that's coming through from the Badger. Badger Spirit rejoices at your persistence and commitment to what is true for you. Whatever you seek, your tenacity and faith in your partnership with Spirit is paying off, and the results will soon coalesce into form in your world. The gift of Badger Spirit is the surety that taking a risk now and being courageous, fearless, and bold will yield wondrous results. This is a time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit of your dreams. Know that no matter the temporary outer conditions, you will manifest your desires in divine timing and in the form that Spirit deems best for you. Badger Spirit says you have what it takes to get what you want, so assert yourself. Be fearless and bold, shining your light as your purpose calls you into the world. New relationships are also given a green light now. Don't be afraid to make the first move. Badger Spirit loves your brave and mighty heart. Interesting. Okay. I love that this says This is a time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit of your dreams. This does feel like there's a lot of envisioning of what we want. With Mercury retrograde now back in Taurus, we're really reflecting on our desires. And so, I think today is the day to be bold in your visions of what you're calling in. And that can be the first step to actually calling it in. I will say, with the moon forming a sextile to Uranus and the sun forming a sextile to Jupiter, if an opportunity comes to you today, if there's something that feels fated or feels like it's meant for you, luck is on your side. So this isn't to say, don't take action on anything today. If it's right, you'll know it's right. But if you're feeling restless and like you don't know what to do, just like Rose was saying, this isn't the time to just do something to get rid of that restless feeling, if that makes sense. You'll know if something is right for you. Oh, good. Thank you for doing this. I'm feeling reassured. So now I can unclench my jaw. Yes, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, get a little grounded. The Pisces moon can make us feel like we're like, feeling all the things floating out in the ethers, So just remember to ground yourself. Know that you're capable of all those things you're dreaming up right now. And even if everything isn't falling into place exactly how you think it should, be open to other avenues, to other paths that might take you to where you want to go even faster than you thought you would get there in the first place. And Badger Spirit is reminding you to be fearless and be bold. Be fearless and be bold. Okay, let's walk through the energy of the week ahead really quickly so you know what to expect, so you're prepared. Here's a look at what's going on with the planets. So let me zoom in here a little bit so you can read this even better. There we go. So today we talked about that sextile between the sun and Jupiter, giving us optimism. I will say this also creates an air of curiosity. So as you're kind of thinking about the future, being bold, follow your curiosity today. That could be a great way to use that restless energy, just gaining more information and following whatever is lighting you up. That's definitely favored. Tomorrow, Mars enters Aries, where it is at home. The planet of action and aggression will be extra feisty in Aries. There's a lot of raw potential. So you might not even have to wait until the new moon to start whatever it is that you're dreaming up today. When Mars moves into Aries, it's go time. We want to go full speed ahead, and we're working our way towards this conjunction between Mars and Jupiter at the end of the week. So we're starting to feel this abundance of energy coming in, getting closer throughout the week. Mercury retrograde harmonizes with Pluto on Wednesday. Remember, Mercury retrograde is asking us to review, to revise, to reflect, to go back to our values, to really get grounded. And now that Mercury retrograde is back in Taurus, it's asking us to think about the ideas and anything that came up between about April 10th and 29th, the first time Mercury was moving through Taurus. And maybe it's time to revisit those ideas, or maybe it's you left something unfinished during that time, and now you get to go back and really review it. When Mercury retrograde harmonizes with Pluto, there can be some really transformative, deep reflections that are had. And this could be a moment of, a change of your mindset in some way, or, just a transformation of how you think about things, or your realizations of your own values. It's a very transformative mental energy we're dealing with on Wednesday with Mercury retrograde harmonizing with Pluto. And both of these planets are now retrograde. So there is definitely an element of going back, going deep within, with Pluto being involved, pulling out anything that needs review. And that could be definitely transformative. On Thursday, Mercury retrograde forms a sextile to Jupiter. So it's just amplifying those reflections, those realizations we just talked about, and potentially helping us see the positive side of things with Jupiter involved, allowing us to lean into those silver linings or understand the bigger picture, why everything is happening the way it is, why we're having these thoughts and realizations when we are right now, why we haven't already learned these things, why we needed to learn them in this season in our life. Mercury retrograde sextile Jupiter gives us a little bit of reassurance that this is where we're supposed to be. that these are the thoughts we're meant to be having right now. Friday's a really interesting day because it's quiet, like so quiet. The moon in Taurus is not making any connection. So really inviting us to just slow down this Friday, connect with nature, get still. There's not a ton of influence that we're feeling, which is really rare throughout the past 6 months that I've been doing this. I don't know, maybe one other day in the last 6 months that we've had so few transits. So really a still, quiet energy this Friday. Saturday, Venus enters Taurus, so we had Mars enter its home sign of Aries. Then on Saturday, Venus enters its home sign of Taurus, really, bringing it back to values and sensuality as well. The focus will be on relationships, physically, our values, physically, what feels good to us, whether it's from a partner or from ourselves. There's a focus on sensuality with Venus and Taurus, like literally the senses, but also Taurus rules our values. So when Venus enters Taurus, it's like almost this return home to our values. And on Sunday, we had that very abundant conjunction between Mars and Jupiter, asking us to make those big moves ahead of Monday's new moon in Gemini, giving us the fresh motivation. There is a huge potential energy here. Like we are able to see the possibilities, run in the direction of our dreams, have faith that our actions are supported. It's a really, really abundant transit, and I'm excited to talk more about it with you guys later this week. And then here's what's going on with the moon this week. Today, the moon is in Pisces. Tomorrow night, it moves into Aries. So bringing more of that fresh energy. Not only is Mars moving into Aries, but the moon is moving into Aries. So if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, today it's not feeling like I have a ton of energy, Tuesday, Mars Day, will feel a lot different. We have a ton of energy and potential to work with. The moon in Aries on Wednesday forms a conjunction to Chiron. So this can make us feel a little triggered, but it can also create the potential for healing. Remember, we're having these deep reflections on Wednesday with Mercury and Pluto connecting as well. So as the moon and Chiron meet up, it could be that something is triggered to show you, oh, this is something I'm still holding on to. This is a reflection or realization I'm meant to have. On Thursday, the moon moves into Taurus, bringing a little bit more passion, but it spends most of the day in Aries, so it's definitely passionate. It's going to form a conjunction to Venus, but then by Thursday night, the moon moves into Taurus. We kind of slow down, return to our senses, return to our physical body. The moon stays in Taurus, very quiet on Friday, as we mentioned, and even into Saturday, the moon is in Taurus. But on Saturday, the moon is going to meet up with Uranus and the North Node, I believe. And this is at the surrender phase of the moon cycle. So it's really, this weekend could bring a major shift of some sort. I would definitely pay attention to what's going on in Taurus in your chart and think back to the solar eclipse in Taurus, our last new moon, because things that were kind of dredged up during that solar eclipse, ideas that were had during that solar eclipse, could be brought back up this weekend, and it could create a big disruption, potentially a very positive disruption that's meant to, propel you into this next chapter, or give you that perspective change that allows you to start something new under the new moon. Then the moon moves into Gemini on Sunday, and there's this like rumbling of optimism and excitement about what's to come, about these new projects or this new chapter we're starting under the new moon in Gemini season. The energy is really picking up, and this week it's like the whole week feels like it is preparing us for something big to happen under the new moon in Gemini. That's just the sense I get from looking at everything. It's like, okay, this is our moment during Mercury retrograde, coming out of eclipse season, to really have those reflections, return to our values, slow down, surrender, release. So under the new moon, it's like we're ready to go. We're ready to jump into action, to start something new, to put those ideas into reality. It's going to be exciting next week, I think. All right, so that's a look at the week ahead. And yeah, it's an interesting forecast we have going on. Did a little today. We'll try a little more tomorrow. Keep working to get to the end goals. Slowing down. Yes, Nick. Yes. Definitely favored under this Pisces moon today to be slow, to give yourself rest. Sometimes our body and our mind just need to be still to sort things out or to make space for those ideas to come through. So you got the right idea, Nick. Dancing lady. Love it. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Transits Today. We'll be back tomorrow morning to talk all about Mars moving into Aries, a very fiery, abundant energy, lots of potential to work with starting tomorrow. So I will see you then, and whenever I see you next, until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.